today's program, in Nigeria, which is currently facing a constitutional crisis following the suspension of Chief Justice Walter Onnoghen by President Muhammadu Buhari last week on Friday. The decision came just 3 weeks to the February 16th elections, in which he could play a key role in determining who becomes the next president should the outcome be challenged. Lawyers in the country, through their association, the Nigerian Bar Association, have condemned Buhari's decision, describing it as unconstitutional and an attempted coup against the judiciary.
Hundreds of Nigerians took to the streets of the capital Abuja on Monday in protest of the president's decision to suspend the country's top judge last week. President Muhammadu Buhari suspended Walter Onnoghen over allegations that he failed to declare his assets. His decision to suspend the judge barely 3 weeks to presidential polls have raised eyebrows.
Even if the CJN has committed a serious offense, you need to go through the normal procedure to bring him to book. You do not just wake up arbitrarily and then tell us that the tribunal gave you an order and then acting on that order you remove a CJN. It's not heard of anywhere in this world, and we're saying no to that kind of behavior.
Meanwhile, the Nigerian Bar Association now says it will boycott the country's court for 2 days. The association joins a list of groups home and abroad that have criticized Buhari's move.
Never at a time like this have we experienced, this kind of assault on the fundamental law of this country. And the custodians of law, and I refer to lawyers in this case, must be the ones to meet and then determine the way forward. And in this particular case, to the best of my knowledge, the NBA is requesting that there be outright reversal of the suspension of the Chief Justice of Nigeria because it violates the fundamental law of the land. It destroys the very foundation upon which Nigeria is built.
Nigeria's judiciary has helped resolve electoral disputes in past votes. The Chief Justice could play a vital role in determining who becomes the next president should the outcome be challenged.
Beyond the judiciary, the suspension of Judge Onnoghen caused an outcry in the Nigerian political class. The main opposition leader, Atiku Abubakar, said that President Muhammadu Buhari had violated the constitution just weeks before crucial general elections. The decision taken on 25 January to temporarily replace Chief Justice Walter Onnoghen, citing allegations of false declaration of assets, triggered a political crisis, as the Supreme Court will probably have to rule on any challenge to the legality of the vote. Atiku Abubakar, a 72-year-old, brigades the Supreme Magistracy against the incumbent President Muhammadu Buhari.
We now speak about this boycott by lawyers in Nigeria with Professor Chris Nwokobia, who is also a lawyer in the country and an activist. Chris Nwokobia, always a pleasure to have you in the program. So, a boycott by all lawyers in the country, a nationwide strike for 2 days. So as a lawyer in the country who have strongly condemned President Buhari's decision to suspend Chief Justice Walter Onnoghen, do you see this as unconstitutional?
It is absolutely unconstitutional. The Conference of Nigerian Politics has said that much. The MBA has said that much. The People's Democratic Party has said that much. The presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, for whom I'm one of his spokespersons, have said that much. And I say without fear of querulous critics and without equivocation that Section 292 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria exclusively and stipulates how the Chief Justice of the Federal Republic of Nigeria can be removed. There is nothing in the law that conceivably gives the right to the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria to suspend and or remove the Chief Justice of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Nothing in the law. So the action of the President is absolutely illegal, unconstitutional, and against due process.
So some world superpowers such as the US and the UK have condemned the suspension. What are the consequences of this move by President Buhari?
Fédéral du Nigeria. Quelles pourraient être les conséquences de cette suspension et surtout des réactions qu'elle suscite pour le président Buhari?
With all sense of respect, some of us who fought for democracy, I don't know whether you know that, we're all in the trenches from when we were teenagers. I was a student union leader in the University of Nigeria in the campus. So many of us lost friends. Some lost limbs in fighting for democracy. And so the world is aware of how much price we paid. Chief Abiola of blessed memory died in the battle for democracy. And so we couldn't have gotten democracy only to hand it over to a despot who does not believe in the rule of law. And that's why the world, the United Kingdom, the United States of America, and those who care about this country have warned about Buhari not taking Nigeria back to dictatorship. It's all about politics, and that's why the Nigerian Bar Association is opposed to the shenanigans of the executive. That is why even when the acting CJN went ahead to constitute the electoral tribunal that would try electoral cases, which of course was simply the reason Buhari and his men hurriedly suspended the CJN against the provision of the Constitution. The members, the other justices of the Supreme Court boycotted the swearing-in of the electoral petition tribunal members. It is simply a nation in protest. Nigerians are saying no to dictatorship. Nigerians are saying no to despotism.
And Chris, the Nigerian Bar Association has called for the reversal of the purported suspension of Justice Walter Onnoghen. So do you think there could be a possible reversal of this suspension?
There is a popular balance. Vox populi, vox dei. The voice of the people is the voice of God. If the people of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, if organized labor, the Senate and the House of Representatives, as well as the Nigerian Bar Association and the civil society insist on a reversal, the president is not God. The only way to sustain our democracy and ensure that there is peace is to reverse that decision. But if those who are around him decide to tell him that he is the new God of the 21st century and that he is Tsar and that he has no reason whatsoever to reverse, I want to quickly warn against that, because in The Prince, a book written by Niccolo Machiavelli, he warned that the prince must be careful about the jesters around him, because every so often they chant and hail him. They hail him to his destruction. And so if President Muhammadu Buhari has got any modicum of integrity left in him, what he must do is to reverse that decision and allow the rule of law take preeminence.
We'll also be keenly monitoring if Buhari will indeed reverse his decision, Chris. But thanks very much for sharing your thoughts on this matter. Chris Nukwobia there, a lawyer and activist, speaking to us from Nigeria's capital, Abuja.